You step into the street, and the first thing you notice is the tension. It isn't loud, it isn't obvious, but it's everywhere. In the way people move past each other without speaking, in the way eyes meet, then quickly look away, in the silence between conversations that should be louder. This is not a city at peace, not yet. The war is over, but the city remembers. You hear boots on wood, wheels grinding slowly over uneven ground, a distant hammer striking again and again and again. You look up. Some buildings stand repaired, others remain broken, and suddenly you understand this is not a finished place. This is New York, 1785, and everything here is trying to begin again. You walk forward, the ground beneath your feet shifts with every step. Stone gives way to dirt, dirt breaks into uneven patches of earth and debris. There is no smooth path, no clean design, only what remains and what has been rebuilt. This city still carries the weight of what happened here. Not long ago, soldiers stood in these streets, watching, controlling, deciding who could move and who could not. Now they are gone, but the feeling hasn't left. You see it in the buildings. New wood pressed against old damage. Walls repaired quickly, not carefully. Windows replaced in different sizes, some still broken. Left open to the cold air, because fixing everything takes time, and time is something this city is still learning to trust. You pass a house that feels wrong, too quiet, too empty. The door hangs slightly open. Inside, nothing moves, no voices, no life, not abandoned long ago, left behind suddenly, like something interrupted everything at once. You keep walking, because stopping here feels uncomfortable, like you're standing in a moment that never fully ended. This is not a city at peace. It is a city recovering, slowly, unevenly, trying to become something stable again, but not quite there yet. The street is full, but it doesn't feel alive, not in the way it should. People move constantly, back and forth, past each other, around each other, but never with each other. There is distance here, not physical, something else. A man walks past you carrying tools. His eyes stay forward. He doesn't look at you, not even for a moment. Another pulls a cart behind him, heavy, slow, each step deliberate, focused, no wasted movement, no distraction. You notice something. No one lingers. No one stands still, because standing still means attention, and attention is not safe. A group speaks quietly near a doorway, their voices low, careful, measured. They stop talking when someone passes, watch, then continue. You feel it now. This is not just a busy street. This is a street learning how to trust again and failing. For now, you begin to see them differently now, not as a crowd, but as layers, each person moving through the same street, but living in a completely different world. A former soldier stands near the wall, still, observing. His body is here, but something in him hasn't left the war. Nearby, a merchant speaks in a calm, controlled tone, careful with every word, careful with every deal, because trust is still fragile. A laborer passes you, carrying wood, back bent, movement slow, not from laziness, but from exhaustion that never fully disappears. You notice enslaved people moving through the street, working, silent, watched, their presence constant, but their voices absent. Then you see someone else, a man dressed better, cleaner, more stable. He walks differently, like the ground belongs to him. And suddenly you understand. This is not one city. It is many cities, stacked on top of each other, sharing the same space, but never the same life. You step into the market and immediately feel the difference. This is not noise for the sake of noise. Every voice here has a purpose. Every movement has a reason. People are not browsing, they are calculating. You hear numbers spoken quietly, prices negotiated in low tones, coins counted slowly, carefully, sometimes twice, sometimes again, because mistakes here are not small, they matter. Food is arranged with precision, bread stacked in limited rows, not abundant, measured. Vegetables placed neatly, but not in excess. Meat hangs in small portions, not enough for everyone, not even close. You watch how people look at it, not with hunger alone, but with decision. Can they afford it? Should they wait? Will it be there tomorrow? No one knows. That uncertainty sits in every exchange. A man walks away without buying, not because he wants to, because he has to. This is not a market of comfort. This is a system of survival. Every coin spent is a risk. Every choice matters. You are handed bread. You hold it for a moment before eating. It feels different than it once did. Softer, less brutal, but still heavy, still dense. You press your fingers into it slightly. It gives, but not much. You take a bite. It doesn't fight you like before, but it doesn't comfort you either. It fills your mouth, dry at the edges, dull in taste, made to last, not to enjoy. You chew slowly, not because you want to, because you've learned to, because rushing food here is a mistake. Around you, others eat the same way, quiet, focused, no conversation, just the sound of chewing, measured, controlled. You notice what is on the table. Vegetables, some fresh, some already fading. Meat, present but limited. Not everyone has it. Not everyone will. You watch how people look at it, not casually, carefully, almost cautiously, as if it could disappear at any moment, because not long ago, it did. Supply is better now. Ships arrive more often. Trade is returning. But stability is not guaranteed. Not yet. Not here. A delay, a storm, a failed shipment, and everything shifts again. You realize something slowly. Food here is not just nourishment, it is uncertainty. Every meal is temporary. Every bite is part of a system still rebuilding, still fragile, still at risk. You swallow. And even as your hunger fades slightly, the feeling remains. This is better than before, but not enough to feel safe. You move toward the docks, and before you see it, you feel it. The air changes, sharper, colder, carrying salt, wood, and something metallic. The noise builds, not chaotic, but constant. Ropes tighten with heavy strain, wood creaks beneath weight, water slaps against the hulls of ships that never truly rest. Men move quickly here, faster than anywhere else in the city, carrying crates, barrels, everything that matters, everything the city depends on. Voices are louder, more certain, commands, not conversations, because hesitation here costs time, and time is money. You watch a ship being unloaded piece by piece, goods from somewhere far away, things this city cannot make yet. This is where New York connects to the world, where it grows, where it survives, and where it risks everything. Because if the ships stop coming, everything else does too. You hear it everywhere, hammering, sharp, repeated, unforgiving, wood being cut, measured carefully. Because nothing here can be wasted. Not anymore. Men work slowly, not because they are weak, but because every mistake matters. This is not building something new. This is fixing what was broken. And that takes more effort, more time, more thought. You see hands covered in dust, splinters embedded deep into skin, movements precise, deliberate. There is no rushing here, because rushing leads to loss. And loss is something this city already knows too well. Every wall raised replaces something gone. Every beam lifted carries memory. This is not construction. This is recovery. And recovery is never easy. You step inside, and the world changes. Outside, everything is movement, noise, uncertainty. But here, it is contained, not safe, but controlled. The wooden floor creaks beneath your weight. Each step heard, each movement noticed. The room is small, smaller than it should be. A table stands in the center, clean, but worn. Chairs placed carefully, as if order matters more than comfort. The fire burns steadily, not strong, not weak, just enough. Everything here is measured, nothing wasted. The air is clearer than older places, but still shared, still heavy with breath, smoke, and presence. You feel it immediately. This is not a place to relax. This is a place to endure. People sit close together, closer than they want, because space is limited, because resources are limited, because life is limited. You notice the silence, not empty, but careful, controlled, words chosen, movements reduced. Everything here is intentional, nothing extra, nothing unnecessary, because survival now depends on control. And losing that control means losing everything. You hear it before you fully understand it, not in shouting, not in open conflict, but in hesitation, in the pauses between words, in the way people choose what to say and what to avoid. The war is over, everyone knows that, but nothing feels finished. You stand near a conversation. Two men speaking quietly, carefully. One leans in slightly. The other looks around before answering. They are not afraid of being heard. They are afraid of being remembered, because here, people remember where you stood, who you supported, what you said when it mattered. Loyalist, patriot. Those words don't disappear just because the fighting stopped. They stay, in looks, in silence, in distance. You see it in the streets. Neighbors who no longer greet each other, friends who walk past without stopping, families that don't speak at all, not because they want to forget, but because they can't agree on what happened. You notice how voices lower when certain topics come up, how conversations shift direction, quickly, almost automatically, like stepping around something dangerous, because it is. The wrong word here can change everything. Trust is not gone, but it is fragile, thin, easily broken. People are polite, but not open, friendly, but not honest, because honesty still has consequences, and no one knows yet what those consequences are. So they wait, they watch, they measure each other, and the tension remains, not visible, not loud, but always there, just beneath the surface, waiting. You move away from the main streets, and the change is immediate. Less noise, less movement, less life. The buildings shrink. Walls lean more than they should. Wood is cracked, unrepaired, left that way for too long. You step carefully. The ground here feels different, softer, dirtier, less cared for. People move slower, not because they want to, because they have to. You see it in their bodies. Shoulders lower, steps heavier, energy limited. Clothes hang loosely, worn thin from time, repaired too many times to hold their original shape. A child sits near a doorway, watching, not playing, just watching. A woman passes you carrying something small. Not enough food, never enough. No one looks directly at you, not out of fear, out of habit, because attention can cost something. You begin to understand. This is the same city, but not the same reality. Recovery happened elsewhere, not here. Here, it is slower, harder, incomplete, and maybe, for some of them, it never really started. You feel it before you see it. The shift, the difference. The street grows quieter, not empty, but watchful. Fewer people, less movement, more space between steps. You notice it immediately. Eyes linger longer here, not out of curiosity, out of calculation. A figure stands in the shadows, still, too still, watching, not openly, but enough for you to feel it. You keep walking, you don't stop, because stopping invites attention, and attention is dangerous. A voice rises behind you, sharp, sudden. You turn slightly. Two men, too close. One reaches forward, the other steps back. Then it's over, fast, too fast to understand. No one intervenes, no one asks questions, because here, involvement has a cost. You look around again. Doors are closed tighter in this part of the city, windows darker, less open. People protect what little they have, because losing it is easy, and getting it back is not. You realize something then. Order exists in some places, but not here, not fully, not yet. Here, survival is personal, and protection is your responsibility. Darkness falls slowly, not all at once. The light fades between buildings, slipping away until only shadows remain. The city doesn't stop, but it changes. The noise softens, not gone, just different, more controlled, more careful. Torches flicker along the street, their light unstable, moving with the wind. Faces appear, then disappear again. You hear footsteps more clearly now, each one separate, each one closer than it should be. A door closes somewhere behind you, too quickly, too firmly. You don't turn around. A voice speaks in the distance, low, uncertain, then silence again, not peaceful, waiting. The kind of silence that feels like something is about to happen. You move forward, slower now, watching, listening, because the city at night is not the same place. It reveals things the day hides, fewer people, but more danger, more shadows, more unknowns. And here, in the dark, you are no longer just walking through the city, you are part of it, and it is watching you too. You stop, just for a moment, and you look around. This place is not broken, but it is not whole. It is something in between, something forming. You see effort, struggle, possibility all at once, and you realize this city is not defined by what it was, but by what it is trying to become. You stand at the edge of the street, looking back. The noise, the movement, the tension, it all stays with you. This is not the New York you know, but it will be. One day, you take one last look and step away. This world, rebuilt using AI from medieval engravings, maps, and records, lets you walk through New York as it was in 1785. Not as a story, but as a place, and for a moment, you were there.